The Asian Development Bank estimates that almost $1.7 trillion are missing in terms of funding gap with respect to the actual demand, especially coming from micro, small, and medium enterprises. So what we've done in our research is we've tried to speak to the owners, the CEOs, and the treasurers of these companies, especially in emerging markets. We have spoken to CEOs in Vietnam, in India, in Indonesia, in China, and we have tried to understand what are their pain points in accessing to trade finance instruments. And they have told us about three things. First of all, there's an element of difficulty in accessing the liquidity. So even onboarding to trade financing programs. The second is the complexity of the trade finance transactions, which are very manual intensive and require a lot of paperwork. And the third is that they find difficulties in accessing to cross-border B2B markets, especially in case of supply chain disruptions like COVID-19. These are the problems. The solution that they have highlighted and where we have elaborated in our report are mostly about digitization of the trade finance market globally. But before coming to the technology, it's very important to define a common business language and a common technology language for trade finance players to collaborate in the industry.
So it sounds, Alessio, as if there is an issue with the current global trade financing model. It's too clunky, it's too bureaucratic. Digitization then holds the key. Where are we in that journey?
Paradoxically, the technology that could solve the problem here already exists. So if you look at trade finance, this is one area in banking where we've seen some of the most advanced innovations. We see blockchain-based trade finance networks. We see application of artificial intelligence, for instance, in processing manual paperwork in an almost completely automatic way. But the problem is that these solutions at the moment are confined to relatively small networks, which we call digital islands. They are not connected to the other networks, and at the moment they have a relatively small scale. So the solution that we are discussing in the paper is around really finding a way for these digital islands, could be, let me say, the traditional messaging networks or the new networks that have grown based on this technology to communicate to each other. And this means defining, first of all, the business language. Think that in supply chain finance, there is no common definition of what a supply chain finance program is. Different banks call the same product in different ways or use the same name for completely different products. At the same time, it's very difficult, for instance, to identify a single enterprise because there is no legal entity identifier that is valid globally at the moment. So all of these create confusion and a lot of complexity in small and medium enterprises in accessing the market. So the first step would be to define the business language, which is common for all of them. And the second step would be define the technology language, the computer language, to let the networks interact each other, especially around protocols such APIs and data models that could allow these different networks to collaborate with each other.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.